Why it sucks to be Merab Dvalishvili. Imagine this. You're one of the most relentless fighters the UFC has ever seen. Your cardio is unmatched, your willpower unbreakable, and your resume keeps growing with wins over some of the best names in the division. You've broken records, turned contenders into pretenders, and proven time and time again that you belong at the very top. But no matter how hard you fight, it seems like the world is out to get you. The fans boo you every time you step into the cage, dismissing your dominance as humping. The UFC brass, led by Dana White, seems more annoyed than impressed by your success, frustrated that you don't fit their mold of a superstar. And your unwavering loyalty to your best friend Aljamain Sterling has kept you from claiming that title that everyone knows you deserve. You're Merab Dvalishvili, and this is your reality. A fighter who has done everything right, yet somehow it's still not enough. The fans won't accept you, the promotion won't back you, and every step forward seems to come with another obstacle in your way. This is why, despite all of your hard work and undeniable success, it sucks to be you. Lucky you, it didn't take too long to get into the UFC. You started your career in 2013, and in 2017, you're in the top MMA promotion with a 7-2 record. Good thing you were able to pull that spinning back fist when Dana White was looking for a fight in New York. That was the second KO of your career, but hey, it happened at the right time, and now you're here. You're a part of the Serra-Longo club, so the expectations are high, but with such a strong camp and a best buddy like Aljamain Sterling to train with, you believe you're ready to make one hell of an impact in your debut and beyond. And you lost your debut. It was a split decision, but it was an L. An L against Frankie Saenz, who snapped the 3-fight losing streak at your expense. Bad start. You had to win, even dominate the next fight to make up for your terrible debut. Lose this one, and your stint in the UFC is going to be a footnote. You lost that one too. Terrible start. Honestly, you had packed your bags and waited for the dreaded final call, but it never came. Might be because you lost to Ricky Simone, a top prospect and not someone like Frankie Saenz. The bout was also awarded Fight of the Night, so maybe that helped. Also, maybe Matt Serra being a buddy of Dana White helped too. Just maybe. Also, Fight of the Night. Might want to pin that one on your calendar as a special occasion. Just do it. Your next fight was a win. Finally. A rather uneventful decision, but it was a dominant performance. So was your next one. And the next. And you started hitting double-digit takedowns. Not doing too much with those takedowns, but that's okay. Your cardio and tenacity is gaining recognition, and you are definitely moving up the ranks. You really make a statement at UFC 266 with your knockout victory over a former title challenger, Marlon Moraes. He stunned you, but you finished him. That was your third knockout of your entire career, and you were 18 fights in, by the way. Your finishing ability, or rather lack of it, was more ammunition for your detractors, but this was your 7th straight win at 135, and now you are definitely in the title talks. You aren't. Let's take that back. As long as your buddy is champion, you're going to stay as far away from the title as possible. On the bright side, again, 7th straight W at 135, and the next bout was definitely going to be a big one. You earned that much, and as long as you kept active, and more importantly, kept winning, you were going to be alright. Nearly a full year later, you're in the cage with Jose Aldo, the legendary Jose Aldo, who was one victory away from a title, but so are you. You aren't. Not really. Still though, a victory over Jose Aldo was going to be huge. Implement that wrestling heavy game plan that you are so good at and ground the godly anti-wrestling Aldo a bunch of times, and no one is going to forget this performance. But during the fight, maybe it was his footwork, speed, or just the altitude, but you could not get the wrestling going. There was no way you were going to risk it on the feet against Aldo, so you resorted to holding him against the cage for 3 full rounds. And you were booed out of the building. You won, but you could feel a shift in the air, like the fans in the building and watching at home had decided that you were public enemy number 1. The social media comments you got that night were meaner than usual, but hey, it really doesn't matter what they say to you, as long as you kept active and keep winning. You will have the last laugh. Several months later, you got a fight lined up, and it's a big one, against Piotr Jan, the former champion. The mean folks on Instagram, they're all growing every day for some reason. calling this guy your worst nightmare and that he was going to put you to sleep. Challenge accepted. You got in the cage with the boogeyman and dominated him, shot 50 takedowns on him and broke him midway through the fight. It was such an incredible, inhumane display of cardio that even someone like Petr Yan, the most cerebral and calculated fighter in the division, had no idea how to counter you. This was the biggest win of your career, and now you were the boogeyman of the division and the #1 contender, and yet they were still booing you out of the building. The fans? They still weren't having it. Despite the dominance, despite the ungodly cardio you displayed, you remained the villain in their eyes. Social media trolls, online hate, boos from the crowd. It was all a part of the deal now. But wait, it gets worse. Remember the selfless tweet you made about no chance you and Aljo ever fighting? You beat Yan and became the top contender, and that tweet suddenly became very important. And it came back to bite you. Dana White called you and screeched and ranted for an hour about best fucking friends and ruining the division, and you couldn't get a single word in. Goof is what he said last before he disconnected the call. Huh, you felt like you made another enemy tonight. The last one you wanted to make. Where to go from here? In August of the same year, it finally happened. Sterling lost the title to Sean O'Malley by knockout, and that opened up a path for you to finally get a title shot. This was finally your chance. Fighting once per year and staying clear of the mountaintop, purely due to your friendship with Sterling, was a brotherly duty, but now you could finally claim what in your heart you always believed you were destined to hold. Oh wait, Sterling said he was going to make a move up after this, but now he's thinking of waiting for an instant rematch against O'Malley. Whatever grand thoughts you had about stepping into the spotlight as the undisputed champion needed to wait. Hell, now you wondered if that was ever going to happen, but it wasn't that important. You fully supported Sterling's cause and even posted online that your buddy deserved a title shot, and wow, the hatred you got this time was next level. Fans went from calling you clueless to another word that began with a C. You Googled what that word meant, and your night was ruined. Dana called as well, but you didn't dare pick up this time. He was probably going to call you that too. Not much you can do now. Just had to wait again and see how it all played out. Wait. That's another year where you only fought once, by the way. Wait some more, and finally Sterling made his decision. He was moving up to featherweight, and there was nothing stopping you from becoming champion. In the meantime, you had added yet another legendary name to your resume. Henry Cejudo, a former Olympian, and you out-wrestled and overpowered him completely. This time when Dana called, you said yes without hesitation. The champion was still Sean O'Malley, the guy who had dethroned your best friend, and this is going to make your eventual victory even sweeter. Even better news, you were selected to headline what Dana White had called once-in-a-lifetime event, UFC 306 at the Sphere. Headlining a massive pay-per-view against a star like Sean O'Malley, you were finally on the right track. And while people called you clueless, you knew what was going on. The UFC Sphere event was supposed to be the birth of Sean O'Malley, the superstar, at your expense, and the entire arena, with all the fancy lighting and technology, was ready to replay that moment of him knocking you out. That was the best part of all of this. You were going to ruin their plans and become champion. And that's exactly what you did. He was no KO artist, no magician on the feet, definitely no superstar in the making. He was Sean O'Malley, a lanky striker who stood no chance against your pressure and wrestling, and you made him look like every other bantamweight you had faced in your rise to the top. Inefficient and inefficient. At the end, Bruce Buffer announced you as the new champion, and Dana White, who was definitely rooting for O'Malley, had to wrap the belt around your waist. After more than 2 years of waiting and being patient, your patience was finally rewarded. And at the financially disastrous yet incredibly important UFC in the Sphere event, the final highlight of the night was you as the bantamweight champion. You did it. You avenged Aljo. You silenced all of your doubters and haters. You ruined the grand plan. You were finally the champion of the world. Dana White called you again, and you were on top of the world. drunk out of your mind and partying with the belt still around your waist. Hell, you were gonna keep it on for the next month at least. You picked up the call from the boss and were about to ramble, but he called you to ruin your night with 4 simple words. You are fighting Umar next. Out of all the bantamweights, he had to pick him. You were barely 2 words in, and then goof. Click. Told you. That was the last guy you wanted as your enemy. Thought UFC Sphere was the fight of your career? Nah, that was the highlight of your career. This next one, against Umar Nurmagomedov? This is going to be the fight of your life, with your legacy and reputation on the line. You've been winning for years at this point, yet it feels like nothing has changed. You've reached the top, beat the best, but no matter how much you've done, it's never enough. The fans still boo you. Dana White still doesn't seem to get it. No matter how many victories you pick up, it just feels like the world doesn't want you to win. No matter how many times you prove yourself, no matter how many fights you win, you'll never be truly accepted. The grind, the sacrifices, the saintly patience, and all of the work that you put in, it was never just about the title. It was about earning respect. But no matter how hard you fight, you just can't seem to get it. You close your eyes, trying to shake off the sting. But it's always there. The knowledge that you can't win the fight that matters the most. And that sucks.